on this week's episode of Canvas. Holy shit, we're back? What? What have we been doing for the last 18 months? Why are we back? And what the hell is the plan going forward? Well, we're here to give you a State of the Union address. We're here to tell you everything that we've got lined up for 2023, 2024, the future, forever, and infinity. Here with my main man, White Banshee. How are we doing, dude?
Yo, a.k.a. Lucid, a.k.a. HK.
FKA.
Yeah. Not FKA. I'll probably dip into Lucid and HK here and there, but White Banshee's my main name from now on.
Okay. I just remember...
You know the way, like, in the last run that we did, I changed from HKA to Lucid as my main name for most of it. Well, this time around, it's going to be White Banshee. So, yeah.
There's always, like, a metamorphosis going on ever since Canvas started. I mean, that's the main reason why I think people rate it so much, is just because it's like on this day in Dreampunk, kind of.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, like, what we're going to do with the new Canvas is like a weekly episodic format. Sort of like the Dream Catalogue podcast in a way, but yeah, we're not doing it live anymore, basically.
Yeah, we can't be fucked with it. Just like, most of the time, the people who show up in the chat are just like dumbasses. So we're just
dumb jabronis.
We're just gonna keep it chill. And by the way, because I'm doing this for like the 19th fucking time, I can't be bothered with the civilities and the keeping it nice at ease.
Are you going hardcore mode? Are you going Black Banshee mode then?
Yeah, I'm releasing Dark Shima. This is gonna be exactly. You get it. Yeah. This is gonna be scary for everyone involved. So
I'm a bit scared already.
Yeah, especially those who are gonna get in the fucking in the neck. I've got quite a lot of names. Oh boy, the last 18 months have been fun, I suppose, in a few ways, and in a few ways it's been an absolute fucking drag. Let me tell you something. Trying to fit into the Hex-D scene is doing my fucking head in.
So yeah,
I am fucking sick of this shit.
So what have you been doing? Like, I know you've been doing this Hexed or Hex-D or whatever stuff.
Everyone else has been doing Hexed. I've been doing Hex-D because I'm the only one who's approaching it with, like, the intention of it actually being, like, catchy and catching on. I'm sure you've heard plenty of Hexed stuff where it's just 250 BPM, breakcore, fucking assault and battery on your eardrums, and little 14-year-old Zoomer Spurgs can make that and be happy for as long as they want. But at the end of the day, they ain't going to sell a fucking vinyl to save their life. They ain't going to do it. There's got to be a little bit of fucking mainstream in there. Just a bit. Just a touch. And that's what Hex-D is. That's what I'm doing. That's what May's doing. And that's how it's going to be going forward. At least for me. Now, will other people cotton on to that? Hopefully. But honestly, I am done trying to fucking make friends. I'm not doing that. I'm running a label. I'm doing business. So do business with me or fuck off. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, like, you're back as the general manager of Dreamcat, so I guess that's where your focus is mainly going to be now.
Yeah. Ever since I stopped doing Canvas and actually got a real job, my boss is a bit of a hard ass, and it kind of like rubbed off on me. So... Yeah,
Didn't you say we're going to have him on the podcast eventually as well?
Oh yeah, we've got him lined up as like a guest in the future, but we've got a lot of other people lined up too.
Yeah. So like, I'm not actually sure on this. What's your work situation? So you're still working at that other job, but you're also doing the GM role for Dreamcast?
Yeah. I'm doing my actual job in the mornings and the afternoons. I'm doing Dream Catalogue by the evening. And let me tell you something. When I'm doing Dream Catalogue, I've already done 8 hours of work before that. So do not approach me with fucking bullshit, because I'm not in the mood.
Yeah.
Just being honest with y'all. If you guys could kindly just send your albums in on time and just be nice. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're just sort of like launching back into it. I mean, we've got a few good plans and everything. You know, we're going to be retreading some old ground, but at the same time, you know, we've got to do it new this time too.
We've done it enough times where we know what works.
What's that saying? You know, people who do the same thing over and over, it's like the sign of madness or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I wouldn't deny that we are pretty mad and, you know, coming back doing this shit again, but...
eccentric. Eccentric's the word I'd use.
Yeah,
because like, mad has a lot of negative connotations, even though it shouldn't really.
I mean, like, we are literally eccentric because, you know, the word, the etymology of that word essentially means, like, outside of the circle, and that's who we are. We're the drain punks, as it were. You know, we're outside of the inner circle. We're the outer circle, eccentric.
Where the cool kids are,
rather than concentric, yeah.
Yeah. We're not in the little fucking tree houses and tea groups and blah blahs and fucking useless shit. We're actually here to do something that's going to hopefully change the world. So
I guess that's why we're here, because it's like a bit of a state of the union. So I guess first we need to like recap the past 18 months, because, you know, everything went a bit off the rails. To be honest, like past 2 years, because like it really began with, you know, Evolve and such, didn't it?
Yeah. I feel like what happened was, as Dream Catalogue kind of like combusted, there was nothing really there to fill the gap. And anything that did try to fill the gap, it felt like forced. Like Pure Life, it felt forced. There were other labels that tried to come into the space, and it just wasn't clicking. Then on the other side, you had the rise of fucking
Pure Life this to get things rolling.
Yeah, and then on the other side of it,
didn't you play at a Pure Life event a few months ago?
Like a year and a half ago, and then he fucking ignored all my DMs.
Is that why you've got a bit of?
I haven't got to be. I listen. All I ask is if I send you a DM, I said hi. Say it back. It's not fucking difficult. You don't even have to fucking respond with words, just an emoji.
If you want to be controversial, you said you were going to be Black Shima, didn't you? So
I'm just tired of playing industry bullshit games, man. It's like, are we here to fucking play patty cakes, or are we here to do business? Because it seems like quite a lot of these 14-year-olds that I'm getting into Twitter DMs with, they just want to fucking send me stupid fucking memes and shit. It's like, okay, how about we actually make some money? They're too busy being little autismos to actually learn a goddamn thing.
No, you know, talking about business, right? You know, one of the things when I was Lucid, I didn't really take the business side of shit that seriously. Like, every week it was just like, you know, what's the latest artistic statements I can make this week? And I just never, ever thought about, you know, like, is this good for business? Where, you know, you were thinking about that. You know, you set up the whole thing with Poddle, for example, which would have been a big draw for Dream Catalogue. Like, I don't know if our listeners know who Poddle is, but he's, like, quite a big YouTuber. Like, hasn't he got, like, over 1 million subscribers or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, getting that, I was trying to get fucking Pogo roped in. I was trying to get some really big fucking names. I was just trying to grab them and get them on Dreamcat as best I could.
I went a bit overboard, like, with the, you know, just, you know, I rejected all that stuff. And, you know, the Poddle album was fine. It was pretty good as well. And I still, you know, I turned it down. It was pretty cheeky of me at the time, really.
So, yeah, I put in a lot of work to get that, and then you just shut it down.
So yeah, like, I think, like, you know, the new era, White Banshee is going to be a little bit more business oriented, but not fully. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm still obviously I can't really be that kind of, you know, George Clanton kind of person as such, but, you know, I've got to be a little bit to get things off.
There's a way to do business without having to toe all the industry like bullcrap. There's a line between, you know, actually getting stuff done and like talking about doing stuff. You know, there's like, okay, you're saying in DMs like 50 times you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do this, you want to do that. Where's the action behind it? You know?
You know what else? Like, the last few years, I just didn't like really like the energy online very much, but I think that's changing a little bit now. You know, especially like the way X is going.
Yeah.
Like X.
Sorry,
what?
Oh, I was just in the middle of my mum delivered my tea.
Oh, classic Canvas moments. What you have?
You've got to have. It wouldn't be Canvas without family interruptions.
What you have?
It wouldn't be right. Good start.
Yeah.
Good start. I've got a potato, chicken.
See, this is a bit nostalgic, but you know, we need to push on into the future.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry, what are you having for dinner? Before we
potato, chicken, peas, and sweet corn.
Potato, chicken, peas, and sweet corn. See, that's a little bit different from your usual pork chops. So, you know, we're evolving.
Well, I can't do pork chops because I had my tooth ripped out. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I've had a tooth ripped out of my face. So if I seem a little bit more unhinged, it's because I had a tooth ripped out of my
Yeah.
face.
See, that's the thing. Like, the energy in like music and art and just like general culture is definitely a lot more unhinged as of late.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
That's
I don't
what I
know.
was
Just
touched on before.
it was a little
You
bit shit for like the lockdowns and the Schwab shit and everything. We covered all
yeah.
that back in the day. Way before anyone else was talking about that stuff. That's like that's mainstream now. We don't need to be talking about Klaus Schwab every week or QAnon and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about new things.
Now let's talk about the stuff that'll actually get us banned.
No, let's not get banned at least. Well, I guess it's a little bit harder to get banned these days on X at
Yeah.
least. I mean, we gotta be careful with YouTube and shit, but on X we'll be pretty sorted.
Yeah, I think we've got the hook up with Elon. We've got his digits. We can just give him a call.
Yeah,
Straighten that out if we need to.
but yeah, like as White Banshee, as a businessman, I guess I'll be a little bit more serious. We've got the new store. We got dreamcatalogue.store, but I mean, you can still get there from dreamcatalogue.com as well. But
It's a really, really nice storefront. It's gorgeous.
Like when I just sort of made the call to finally get rid of Bandcamp, it was like it really felt very liberating. Like I just got rid of this like parasite.
Yeah.
Hold on, she won't finish there.
I don't think she shut the door. I think that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, when I was starting at my new job, one of the things I learned was Wix, like within the first few weeks.
Yeah.
And as soon as I knew all about Wix, and I knew what I was doing and how to make a site, I was like, why are people still on Bandcamp exactly?
Yeah. So our site isn't on Wix, but it's like it's if you look at our site and just go to like the HK and Zombie album, for example, like just look how much better it is than Bandcamp. And like how quick it loads and shit, and you can stream the album on there and buy it and so forth. And I just think it's very liberating because it gives us like a really brand new base of operations, which is why I feel like very different. And it's like we're not just doing the same shit all over again. Really, we're gonna start something new. We can really do like brand new things with that website that we perhaps haven't done before. So. It's just like it's like an open landscape for like a blank canvas exactly. So
there's a reason that some names stick around for a while, Dream Catalogue,
and you need that to be able to launch shit. Really, you need that blank canvas. So I feel like we've got that with the new site. It just feels fresh, and there's just a good feeling amongst the Dream
staff.
lads. The staff, you.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm really excited to be back in charge of things. It's, I'm always happy to help out wherever I can. And the thing is, when White Banshee's got enthusiasm, when Banshee over here has got some enthusiasm in him, that's what makes the difference. That's the engine that drives a fucking 2814 out the door. That's what makes all the glory years happen. So now that I feel that that's back, I'm ready to supercharge that. I'm ready to be like, all right, let's like laser focus this shit. Let's
speaking of 2814, sorry to interrupt you, but I've been speaking to Telepath a lot lately, actually, and I feel like we'll probably end up doing something with 2814 for the first time in like many years. So
that'd be insane.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't like formalized anything, but I just reckon like the energy's there for it.
Yeah, I mean, like this is the main thing that 2023 is going to be about for Dream Catalogue. It's going to be about developing that energy again, because we all remember what it was like right at the peak of it. That was fucking amazing.
You know what? What I've been thinking, right, as well, like. That was when, I started Dream Catalogue when I was in my 20s and now I'm in my 30s. But, like, I look at, like, all these artists that, like, got their start on Dream. Like, you, Jude, remember, Telepath even. And, like, you're all in your 20s now, that same age that I was. and it's like, I feel like that energy I had, you probably all have now, and I feel like, I don't know, it just feels like, there's like Dream Catalogue sort of has a legacy to it now, that where we can like
Yeah,
really relaunch in a like legit way, especially with the new site and everything. And
yeah.
we've
It's
got,
crazy to think about
we've
it.
already got like a lot of plans that we're gonna work towards, and we're not just gonna go like straight out the door this time like we used to. We're gonna actually like build shit up like step by
Yeah.
step, White Banshee rather than Lucid style.
Dream Catalog's actually the veteran label now.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
that's the thing. Yeah.
name another label in this scene that has like been doing this for as long as we have.
Well, what is the scene now? Because like, I feel like it's not really, the dream
It's
punk
not a
scene.
scene.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not.
like a sprawl of like internet music, which is like all over the place.
Yeah, it's like disintegrated. It's just like a
Yeah.
weird sort of 200 BPM mush.
Yeah, but like in that mush, like I feel like we can like establish something.
Yeah, it feels like the social aspect of music has gone back to its like primordial state in a way.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, like there's just something there. I think maybe other people can't see it, but I can. And yeah, it's like you said, like Dreams, sort of like the legacy kind of label now, the
Hmm.
veteran label. Um, it's coming up to the 10-year anniversary in January, next January.
Yeah.
So that
And I think
says a lot
like
about
as
it.
the veteran label, people are kind of like expecting us to make like veteran moves and
Yeah,
not be like that stupid with it, which
yeah, a bit more serious.
yeah, I mean like I'll put it to you this way, guys. We've always tried to be serious, but being serious is really fucking boring. And we are not boring people. We try and keep things on your toes a little bit. We're not trying to fucking send you to sleep. So,
But I think we're like the difference now is like what we're putting in place is like a serious like establishment. So it's
yeah.
like, we're not just like shitting all over the bed with like raccoons and shit. It's just like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not just like shit posting an album on Bandcamp like some crummy little shitty website. It's like, we got a legit thing that we've got going here, and it's gonna take a while to establish it, but that's fine. We've got like a legit basis, a legit like base for all of it.
We've got 10 years of legacy behind us. We've
Yeah,
got
we got like the
massive.
infrastructure. That's what I'm trying to say. Like
Yeah.
we got like a legit infrastructure of like a legit record label to like do legit shit, and that's
We
what we're
got
gonna do.
infrastructure. We got contacts.
Yeah,
We got,
but it's like,
history
yeah,
going back years and
right,
years. It's
yeah,
just all the pieces of the puzzle have come together,
yeah,
and there's a really good opportunity here.
yeah.
And
Because like even like music wise, right? Because like this has sort of been building up a little bit for a month or two now. Even music wise, we've got some like pretty solid stuff in already that's getting scheduled for release. So, um, we'll probably like do the sort of like relaunch of like new music with you know like if the last album on the Bandcamp was DJ Sugar C, like the first albums are gonna be like on the new site are gonna be like Sangam, Kagami Smiles Back, Elegance of the Dance, and something in Microgram, White Banshee. That's me.
but we will be hearing more from Dulzel Sogafu, who'll be on the
Yeah.
podcast in a
Oh yeah,
future episode.
definitely.
So look out for that. We
Yeah,
got
I
great
feel I
guests
feel like
lined
we're
up, by
just
the way.
sort of like swimming all over the place here because we've got so much stuff to say. But that
Yeah.
we should have like
And you know what the crazy thing is?
what?
You haven't even brought up the book. I haven't even brought up the marriage.
I guess you
Two
gone.
biggest things in the goddamn room.
Yeah, so like I guess like I've been a little bit quiet for the past 18 months in terms of music and stuff. Because like the main thing I've been working on is writing this novel, which I've pretty much finished now. So I'm just like putting the finishing touches on that, and I reckon it'll actually drop. Hard to say exactly when, but quite soon, I'd say.
What's it about?
um, I don't want to say, like, I don't really want to give it away. I'd rather just
You're keeping it on the hush.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I guess you're gonna have to go to some kind of store and go out and buy it. You're gonna do a deal with
I don't know how.
Waterston's or something.
No, like I honestly can't be bothered like dealing with like the whole like literary scene and like looking for a publisher. Like I just can't be bothered. So
Oh, you're self-publishing.
yeah, I'm just gonna whack it on fucking Amazon. Like I don't really care about getting the whole publishing prestige, to be honest. If it's good,
Fair
like
enough.
it'll spread. If it's not good, it won't. I don't care. Like I'm kind of indifferent to that side of it. I just want it to be out there.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, like, I haven't worked this hard on a project, on like any art project ever in my life. Like, albums just don't compare to how much work goes into a novel.
Yeah, you've been doing this for years, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've been trying to write a novel since about 2011, so it's like 12 years. I mean, I've written loads and deleted loads, and this is sort of like a final product of all that. But I mean, it's not the same novel I was writing then. I mean, maybe there's some themes that carry across, but like this, I guess like this actual project I started about 2018, and it's sort of like evolved a lot over the years, but the main bulk of it has been in the last 12 months. And like I'm just sort of in the last mastering stage to make a parallel with music. In the end, like writing a novel is very similar to making a song, except it's like way longer. So it's like a long-winded making a song. Instead of a day, it takes a year.
Yeah. I
don't think you listened to a word of that.
No, I did. I was just thinking, like, how many hundreds of pages have you actually written? Because it sounds like this is like a Leviathan here.
No, it's not that. It's like long. It's not really a long novel. It's like actually writing a novel. There's so much that goes into it that you wouldn't even think about. That it's just a very long process. So the actual novel, like I can't tell you what the page count will be because all that stuff sort of depends on like font sizes and shit. But I reckon it'll probably be like 200, 250 pages, just sort of like a regular novel size, maybe a bit smaller than a regular novel, I'm not sure. But yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it more once it's out there, because like, obviously I need to promo it and shit, but yeah, I suppose get hyped for it.
So,
I was always going to publish it as Lucid, but I'm not now. I'm going to publish it as White Banshee.
That's pretty intense. That's a big move.
So everything's White Banshee. White Banshee is the main draw.
So, just to clarify, is this fiction or non-fiction?
I'll wait for it to come out, like, and we'll talk about it more. Then I don't want to give anything away about it.
You're literally disclosing nothing.
Yeah,
it's hard to do an interview when I can't get any answers to my questions. You know
what we'll do is, right, when we publish the book, you can interview me, you can read it, and then you can interview me about it, and we'll promo it that way.
Okay, fair enough.
That can be part of your GM duties as well, like reading it. So you can get to read the book.
Okay, fair enough. Then in my news, I suppose I should let you all know, I'm fucking getting married in a month.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, so y'all might remember, if we go way back, Canvas episode 33, around that time I'd found a lovely girl called Catherine, and I'd kind of set her up as my girlfriend, and Canvas episode 33 was the first time I introduced you to her.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now, we're getting married.
Yeah, wow. How many years ago was that?
Well, it was 4.5 years when we first met each other.
This is episode 200.
Yeah. It's been 163 episodes of Canvas.
Yeah, with a lot of deviation podcasts like the Dream Catalogue podcast and shit like that in
Yeah,
between.
and breaks and
Yeah.
closing, opening, opening, closing. You know. But I mean, this is huge for me in many, many ways because A, first things first, holy shit, I'm getting fucking married.
Yeah.
B, what this means is I'm actually going to be living in the United States.
Yeah, so you're going to be
So,
American.
yeah. And this opens up a lot of opportunities because A, I finally get to escape from this fucking city.
Yeah,
Yeah!
out of Bradford for the first time
I
ever.
made it!
What year were you born?
1997.
97, so you've been in Bradford for 26 years.
I've been in jail for 26 years.
Yeah.
I'm finally free. And plus, also, it opens up the opportunities of Dream Catalogue becoming an international business.
Yeah. Yeah, US ex UK business.
The main complaint we had from all our American customers was, oh, the shipping cost is too high. I can't pay for it. Well, guess what, motherfucker? I'm solving your problems for you. I'm the best general manager ever. I know. You're welcome.
Yeah, well, let's not give all the inside business details out publicly just yet. But yeah, like potentially.
I'm sorry. I'm just so excited for the future. There's so much good shit we have lined up, guys. We're doing so many albums with so many big names. We've got, oh my god, the future is so bright. That's what this State of the Union address is really about. I'm so fucking hyped for the future. You don't understand.
The thing is, like, we're not just doing, label. We've got other bigger plans to turn this bigger than just being a record label. Stuff we've tried in the past, but like we just didn't have the right infrastructure and stuff for it that we now do.
Throughout all of our planning, we've never used the word net label, not once, because it's much, much bigger than that.
Oh yeah, like Dreamcast, I think it sort of graduated from being a net label, like probably by about 2016, like when we were doing like legit vinyl and warehouse and shit like that. Mm-hmm. Can't call yourself a net label when you got a fucking literal warehouse full of vinyl. And
yeah,
shit.
That's physical in every sense of the word.
Yeah, I mean it's as physical as any other big label. So,
but beyond that,
it's like Dream Catalogue brand can we're going to expand it beyond just being a record label. I think now, but it's not going to be an all-at-once deal like we tried in the past. We're just gradually building it step by step, looking towards 2024 with that White Banshee vision and the Black Shima vision.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, guys, you've got to get hyped. This is the new era. For the millionth time, we're fucking doing it again.
Yeah.
For the millionth time, we're going all in. It's like all parts on the table.
It's like we've got that that open landscape to actually do it properly now. So.
The opportunity has presented itself bright as day. Yeah. For the first time in 2 years, we see a way forward, and damn it, we're going for it.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And I think we covered why we're doing this right there, didn't we? Yeah. We just laid it out. Clear as crystal.
Have we got anything else on our itinerary?
We've run through everything pretty much in record time too.
Yeah. So are we just going to talk for a little bit then?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Like, I feel like, we do these, like, big announcement promo kind of episodes of Canvas, and they might be a little bit boring because we're just typing for a while. When people really we need to, get a little bit philosophical.
I mean, as long as they get it, why this is so exciting. Okay, let's. That was a good point, actually. Let's appeal to you philosophically. Okay, so why are we doing this on the spiritual level?
Yeah, because that's important. Because like, it's not just about building a brand and making money. I mean, that's obviously got to be part of it. I mean, like, it's fucking stupid if you're not thinking about those things. And that, as I said earlier, that has been a bit of my problem. I didn't think about those things enough. But yeah, there's always like the spiritual and artistic reasons why you're doing anything, and there's plenty of those, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As to what they are, I don't know how to sort of
remember a few days ago, this all started 4 or 5 days ago, by the way, guys. I called you because I wanted to tell you that I was getting married. And a few days before I called you, you had the idea of calling me and telling me everything you had planned. So, in a way, spiritually, before we even communicated with each other, we were on that wavelength.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, it was like I needed that year off to write the book, and I'm telling you, like, legit, so many, like, psychic and spiritual events confirmed to me that, basically. That you know, I needed that time off. But, like, just, you know, like, what they call, like, syncs and shit, you know, where you see something and it's, like, an obvious message from the beyond or whatever.
Yeah.
Like literally, like, I've had so many intense things like that have confirmed that to me. And it's like, you know, when you really, like, work on a project like I did with the novel for, like, so long, you really, like, conjuring something magic with it, I think. And I think that's what I did in those 12 months or so. Probably a bit longer than 12 months, really. I mean, like I said earlier, like, I started in 2018, but really the first 4 years or so were, like, a lot of just taking notes, writing little things, and most of that was just, like, you know, building up until the actual sort of performance of writing the novel this past 12 months or so. But yeah, like, just, like, legit a spiritual event in my life, like, writing this novel. I guess I'll go into this stuff more when I publish it, like I say, but yeah. It's like, yeah, now I'm coming out of that phase and, like, you know, I need to get back into Dreamcast and shit, and, you know.
But you've had chance to kind of, like, process all the bullshit out of your system, basically. In a sense that, you know, because you took that year off, that year gave you space to kind of, like, clear your mind and, like, refocus.
Yeah, because in a way, like, writing a novel does... Because when you're writing a novel, like, what you're really doing is, like, you're sort of interacting with your own mind in a deep sort of meditative way. So you actually are, like, confronting a lot of things like that naturally, because you're sort of in a permanent conversation with yourself when you're writing, in a sense. It's hard to explain, but, like, if you're, like, writing every single day for hours, like, it's sort of like a very isolated meditative experience that does bring up those sort of deep things in a way. So yeah, there is definitely an element to that. I mean, it's, like, not the only thing in writing a book, but it's definitely part of it.
Yeah, I think the whole... I tried writing a book back when I was a teenager, like 14, 15.
Yeah.
There was, like, a national novel writing month thing. I tried it. Yeah, I had to write 50,000 words. I only wrote about 20,000. But I experienced what you're talking about there. And I think what some people do... I saw this in America, actually. Yeah...
Man, you need to tell your family that we're back to podcasting again.
I know, they're going to take the hint, right?
Not that deal stuff, but...
No, but what I was saying was, when I was in America, I noticed there was... we went to a bookstore at one point, and there were these 3 ladies who were all gathered around a table, and they were all writing a book at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And I just kind of hovered over just to kind of, like, see what they were writing about, right? And they were all writing, like, pretty much the same thing. And I was just like,
read all the text.
Yeah, like, they were writing. They had, like,
Well, so you just sort of did a circle around the table and read.
Yeah.
They were writing.
It was, like, surrounded by bookshelves, so I was, you know, making out that I was just, you know, reading through the book. So I was just, you know, having a peep.
Yeah.
But they were all reading the same thing and writing the same thing. And that touches on, you know, because writing's so personal, it's like you have to keep it to yourself when you're writing, at least, so that outside, like, influences don't change your story too much, because a book, in my opinion, it is like the most personal kind of
art,
creative expression of art, that can be.
No, yeah, you brought up an interesting point there about like outside influence and such, but like I don't think like anyone can do away with that, because when you write a book, right, like from the off, you're choosing to write it in a particular language, so you've already sort of like conceded that aspect of it. Like, you know, obviously I wrote my book in English, but like, you know, whatever, even like ancient texts, like, you know, holy texts were written in a particular language of a time and place, so it's gonna reflect the time and place. Like any text is bound to reflect some aspect of the time and place it was written in. So you can't really get away from that. But at the same time, yeah, you do need to sort of like cut away everything to really like, you know, conjure up something. You need to be like locked in an isolated state, really. Which and that's exactly why I really did step away from music for most of the past year. I mean, like, I released a few albums, but like I specifically took breaks to work on them. Like I did Hell World, for example. I literally took a break from the novel for like 2 weeks to make and publish that, just so I could have a break from the novel, you know, like a holiday from it. There's a couple of others, probably I can't think now. Maybe that was the only album, I can't even remember now. But yeah, like what was I saying? So I'm still gearing up to being a podcaster. It takes a few episodes to really get into the flow of a podcast, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've got to work through 18 months of rust first.
Yeah, we'll be back in a few episodes, I reckon.
What you were saying was the sort of like personal meditative state.
Yeah, like I mean, you can't like fully get away from like, you know, the time and place you're writing and all that stuff, but so that's like kind of important to, you know, what I was writing anyway. Like, I mean, I don't want to give it away too much, but I guess I have given it away. It's like, you know, the novel's set in like the modern day. It's like set in, you know, this era basically. So,
okay,
I've given away that much at least. Anyway, so yeah, that obviously, you know, that plays into it, but yeah, like to actually do like, you know, the art as it were, you want to, you know, really be able to disconnect from everyone as much as possible. Now, music's a little bit different because like music, I think, is a lot more social as an art. Like obviously, right when I was getting into it, but fucking hell, right, some music can be and generally is a lot more social, especially you know if you think about bands and orchestras and stuff, that's obviously like, you know, a lot more communal. But even, you know, like old ideas of like, you know, playing music to the community and stuff, you know, like even with just a little guitar sat around the campfire, all that kind of shit, or you know, like, you know, whatever. But I mean, it's obviously, you know, music doesn't have to be that. Obviously, you can make music in isolation and stuff like you would the novel, and you know that's what we do a lot these days in the 21st century. So,
well, I mean, some people do and some people don't. I know quite a lot of artists these days. They make music just for the fucking social media clout.
Yeah.
But regardless, you know, I think that.
But yeah, I guess the point I'm trying to make is like music's a lot more instant in that way. Whereas, you know, a novel, you really do have to detach for a long time to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite different in that way, and yeah.
You can't write a novel in short bursts, otherwise it would never get finished.
No, that's another thing. Like, if you come out of the zone of the novel, it's not going to be the same novel when you return to it at all. You've got to really do it.
So you've got to stay in that same sort of place.
Yeah, because to be honest, I actually did write an entire novel and then I trashed it in the build up to this.
So you could have had 2 novels.
In a sense, yeah, but the old novel that I wrote in 2020, what year is it now? 2023. So I wrote my first novel in 2021, which was part of this whole project. But then, like, I trashed it and started over from scratch. So in a sense, I wrote 2 novels to get to the point of having 1 novel, if that makes sense.
Why did you trash the first one?
God, a million reasons, but I mean, this is the kind of stuff we should talk about when it's published, really. Like, it's hard to answer this stuff until the book's published. But,
Okay,
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I know you used to touch quite a lot on your philosophy and all that. Does the book cover that at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a philosophical novel, like, just naturally. You know, I've always had that tendency. So yeah, you can expect that.
I actually, speaking of like the whole philosophy and spirituality thing.
I mean, sorry, I just want to clarify. It's not like some hard philosophy text or anything. It's like, you know, when I say a philosophical novel, I mean like, you know, it's got a philosophical kind of theme to it, as it were.
So it's not like Nietzsche or anything.
No.
Thank God.
It's like you'll be able to read it. Like anyone will be able to read it. It's not like difficult or anything. It's maybe like, you know, thematically difficult, but it's not like difficult to read or anything.
I love the books that I can actually read.
Yeah.
So what I was touching on earlier about just the whole spiritual, philosophical music side of things is that I think that because your music's always had like a heavy amount of spirit, like in it, you know, it's always had a very spiritual edge to it. Mm-hmm. I think that's why like a lot of your classic albums like continue to resonate now. Meanwhile, a lot of the albums that at the time, sure, they were produced good from like a technical standpoint, but like spiritually they were paper thin. I think that's why a lot of those are like by the wayside now.
What's an example still, of
that? Fucking like 99% of all the future funk artists are just completely irrelevant these days.
Yeah, I mean, like I haven't looked at that genre in a very long time, so I wouldn't even know.
I'll put it to you this way: there's the whole.
I mean, that's just dance music, really, isn't it? If you think about it, so
you'd be surprised. It's like there's the few festivals around it that are set up, and then outside of that, it's like ghost town.
Future Funk Festival.
Yes,
imagine how bad smell that is. Imagine the smell, as they say.
It's horrid. And outside of that, the future funk scene is just like as dead can be. It is like, oh Lord, you thought like
that when I think future funk, like I think, you know, the year fucking 2014 is what comes to mind for me.
Yeah,
and I mean maybe people
try to
think
that
about, you know, Dreamcast as well, but you know, whatever. That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, we have been around since then as well, yeah. But we've still got like relevance, unlike them, because we've got that spiritual aspect. We're not just like paper thin dance music with nothing behind it. We've got that kind of you know
what's funny? Like, since we launched this site, like the sales on like shit have like pretty much doubled, to be honest, which is partly why I feel a lot more optimistic. So I didn't really realise how much Bandcamp was like fucking me over until that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is why
I always knew, like, I've long said Bandcamp was shit, and I took so much flack for it, and now everyone else is figuring it out like 4 years later. But I didn't really realise it was that bad until I actually got rid of it.
Yeah, it's awful.
But like some of the Dreamcat albums definitely like still, you know. 2814, obviously, some of my own solo stuff, but even, you know, like some of your stuff still does well, like shit that you released like 7-8 years ago, still, you know,
yeah, my spiritual stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like the flop stuff fell off a cliff, but
yeah, exactly, because that stuff was paper thin. You see, this is the point I'm making.
Well, I never thought flop was paper thin personally, but you know, I always had a bit of a weird perception of flop that nobody else had.
It was, Flaps was one of those ones where you couldn't really, if you had to do an elevator pitch to someone about Flap, you couldn't do it.
No.
Because you needed more than 20, 30 seconds to elaborate on why it's actually fucking genius.
Yeah, so I listened to the new Lil Uzi Vert album. It's just like, this is so boring because like I've already heard it all before, and I realized I've heard it all before because it's like what we did fucking 5 years ago. So it's probably like it probably sounds like new to the wider population, but it's like to my ears it's like boring because I've already heard it.
Yeah, but the mainstream's always 5 years behind us, so.
Right, yeah. So, I am working on a new White Banshee album, and it'll be, flappy, in a sense. At the same time, though, it's not going to be as, like, fucking out there as White was. It'll be a bit more pop-friendly, I suppose. Speaking of pop-friendly, post-Vaporwave era albums, the new George Clanton album.
Oh, it's our first episode back, and we're going to talk about this.
Well, I think it's newsworthy, so yeah, we need to talk about the news and George Clanton. He keeps making the news lately.
I think it's cringeworthy.
What did you listen to?
Yes, I had to listen to it. It sounds like George needs to stop buying his fucking instruments from charity shops and needs to fucking invest in something that was invented past 1992.
So, like, I read the Pitchfork review, which a lot of vapor types got angry about, because, they said something bad about the Vaporwave star, so, they're gonna do that. But, I really hated that review by Sam Goldner, because it's a really, like, subversive article, as is every single article they ever write about anything to do with internet music. They always have to, like, mention, Fashwave. Like, who the fuck cares about Fashwave? Like, nobody cared about it when it existed. It was, like, such a
It's like reviewing a fucking Beyonce album and bringing up fucking Gigi Allen. It's like, there's no fucking comparison.
Because they both use the microphone, so, let's talk about Gigi Allen and a Beyonce review. Even though Gigi Allen's probably better than Beyonce, but nonetheless. But yeah, like, right, what they do is, like, so they'll do, like, a review of, like, an internet music darling or whatever. Like, obviously, George Clanton's probably the biggest name of internet music as a broader thing by now. He's like, he's like the tip of the spear, as it were, and the sort of that, that sort of slightly penetrates the mainstream consciousness.
George Clanton is the tip of the spear in the fight against globalists.
well, he is in a sense, even though he tries to play up to them, but at the same time he is still internet music. But yeah, like what they do is, like, they say, this is a scene that produced, like, Fashwave, even though, nobody gives a shit about Fashwave. Like, nobody ever gave a shit about Fashwave. It's like, it's literally something that existed for probably, like, 5 minutes as a joke on 4chan with a few, like, probably, like, 3 people who made it as a joke. And then it's like, they're going to keep referring back to this article over and over anytime someone from internet music, like, does something. It's because they need to downplay internet music as a force so they can, like, hold on to the bullshit, like, fake non-culture that they've got. Rock and roll.
They're clutching to power, just like every other part of the fucking establishment.
Right, yeah.
All they can do at this point is just hold on to what they've got, because they ain't fucking expanding any.
Yeah. Well, you know who owns Pitchfork is Condé Nast, who also own Reddit and fucking shitloads of other shitty magazines and stuff. Just like, a height of, like, shitty mainstream, globalist bullshit, as you called it.
Just trying to consolidate his power, that's all it's doing.
Right, yeah, exactly. So it's just like, whoever the fuck Sam Goldner is, just, like, writing shitty review for his, like, corporation. What a prick. Like, you know, I just like, I fucking hate journalists. It's like, you know, Ezra Marcus. He wrote loads of bullshit articles like that in the mid 2010s when internet music was taken off. And it's obvious, like, these fucking journos, like, they just take their orders and just, like, little bitches, can't stand them.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely,
Like, I can't believe,
I mean,
like, it's like, what, in the last 2 months, I've fucking rapped George Clanton twice. It's like, first for the John Mouse stuff, and now for this.
I mean, I don't even like the album, but I've kind of got to stand behind him anyway,
right,
because of the fucking fact that he's getting flack from the establishment. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I think George Clanton's a prick, but I'll stand behind George Clanton any day before I stand behind the fucking pitchfork.
Right.
You must think you must be smoking something stronger than me if you think I'm going to fucking support Pitchfork over George Clanton.
No.
You know what, George? You know what? No. George, if you're listening, well done. Well done on getting music.com. You deserve it, King. Keep slaying. Keep up the good work, baby.
Yeah, no, there you go. Like, George Clanton is the #1 album of the year on Rate Your Music compared to his, like, shitty Pitchfork review, which is bullshit. And, like, you know, who cares about Pitchfork anyway? It's just, like, whatever. But yeah, like, you know, I'd actually love to have George Clanton on this podcast if he'd be up for it. I mean, it'd be an interesting discussion. I've got like no reason to rap George Clanton, right? Because, like, he has dissed me a few times and stuff, and I could hold a grudge about it, but I'm not going to. Like, you know, I actually respect the fact that he's, like, built a legit independent organization. And, like, you know, he does things his way. Obviously, it's very different to the way we do it, but, you know, at the end of the day, you have to respect that. So
no, that's what I was about to bring up.
And it's like I hope though, like, that he looks at that and he thinks, like, you know, why am I trying to, like, appease these people? Like, that's like fucking rock and roll, which is fucking dead. Rock and roll's, like, died with. The last rock and roll album that mattered was Arctic Monkeys AM. That was, like, almost 10 years ago. Like, who gives a shit about Pitchfork? Just like I'd literally rather have, you know, good rap on fucking Radio Music now than fucking Pitchfork, seriously. Because, like, Radio Music's internet music. Like, that is the internet music culture, and that's, you know, that's what's electric in the 2020s and the 2010s and such. You know, that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, I don't give a shit about fucking Condé Nast rock and roll one bit.
Yeah, I don't care about what the fuck Kerrang or NME have got to say.
No, I always hated Pitchfork anyway. Like, they were always, like, proper shit.
Pitchfork has always been the worst. Yeah. Just
Pitchfork is just, you know, they gave Tool, like, the fucking famous 1.0 music review or whatever. But, like, even the whole concept of giving, like, albums like these goofy little ratings, like, you know, oh, I got a 6.6 or
like, yeah, I mean, scoring
so
it out of 10,
stupid.
Fair enough.
When
you
have,
like, the decimal
geeks,
place,
like, the decimal
it's like,
place.
how wanky can you get?
like the out of 10, that's all right, or the 5 stars or whatever. You know, you're getting into, like, Dave Meltzer territory at that point when you're doing the little point, you know, decimal place.
George Clanton gets 6.5 stars.
You know what though? I actually I listened to the album and, you know, I thought it was alright. It's like it's a good, like, you know, indie pop album, and yeah, it's like, you know, the album.
I'm not an indie pop guy. No,
I'm not. I mean, like, for what it is, it's not something I'd listen to personally, but, like, you know, for what it is, I can see why a lot of people would like it. You know, it's just, you know, it's just more George Clanton stuff. It's what you'd expect, and, you know, that's what his fans want, so it's what he gives them. So
yeah, I suppose.
Clanton.
I personally, I can only view things through my lens.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I can view things through other people's perspective. Don't get me wrong, but, like, day to day in my life, you know, looking at things from other people's perspective is just gonna make me disorientated.
Oh yeah,
so,
like,
in terms of how I feel about the album, I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, like, you know, I feel pretty much the same, and I'm sure, you know, he probably doesn't like my music either if he's heard it. I'm sure he has. You know, we've spoken in the past.
Like, musically, not my thing. personality-wise, we'd probably clash. Business-wise, I totally respect the hustle.
No, yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's the hustle. You know, it's the grind set, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what's this? As it were, I keep saying I need to get that out of my vocabulary. I've said it like 5 times on this podcast, as it were. As such. But yeah, I respect the hustle. That's underground, proper internet music. Like I'll always like, even if I've got a beef with someone in some internet music, I'll always like respect the fact that they're, you know, doing that rather than, you know, being some industry prick.
Yeah, if they're putting in work and they're getting their money, then good for them. Yeah. You know, honestly. At the end of the day, you know, if you're able to pay your music off of releasing fucking MP3 files on the internet, congratulations.
And it's like, you know, he's given a legit platform to like Death's Dynamic Shroud and, you know, all these other artists, especially Dendo. Yeah. And it's like, you know, it's a serious operation and it's all like independent and shit. So, you know, you can from that perspective, you can critique it, and, you know, people have done to no end, like I said, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna bother though, cause like whatever. I'd rather just like say, you know, I rap 100% electronica any day over fucking Pitchfork, easy.
Yeah, there was a time when I really, really hated on George Clanton with a passion. It's around the same time when I released George.
I've never hated them, honestly. Like I've always like had respect for him. I mean, like,
since then I've kind of cooled off. Since then I've learned to kind of respect the dedication to his craft that he's put in to achieve what he's got. Yeah. If you'd asked me the same question 2 years ago, I would have been a flaming ball of napalm.
Well, whatever. We've said enough.
That's enough, George.
Yeah,
it's enough, George.
It's a good hook for the podcast, though, I think.
Yeah,
I think, you know, I did this, you know, Clanton a little bit on some old podcasts, but I never did it in a way that was like, you know, I'm like dissing him as such. I maybe like critiqued him a little bit. Like, I'm gonna reserve disses when it's like, when it comes to the globalist, as it were. As it were.
As it were, as it is, as it always will be.
Well, hopefully not. That's the thing. Like, let's not.
You need to lock Klaus Schwab in the sharpshooter.
Man, you know, I was listening before we wrap up here, because I think we should wrap up in a minute. But like, I was actually re-listening to our John McAfee interview last night, because it randomly came up on my sidebar on YouTube for some reason. And man, it was like, it felt like kind of, because I hadn't listened to it since it came out, and it was like kind of weird, you know that he died and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe he faked the stuff, I don't know, who knows with him. But like, you know, the fact that we were legitimately one of his last ever interviews before he died, so we were probably like, you know, he probably did like 3 or 4 interviews in that last week, and then he got arrested sometime shortly after. So we were like literally one of his last ever interviews, and then he died in prison. But yeah, it's just like he was like saying so much deep stuff on that I don't think I really took in at the time properly. Just like a lot of legit like sage advice and life wisdom from like an old vet that, I don't know, it's just a great podcast, I think. Like, we could barely get a word in because he was like proper coked up and just rambling.
I'll never forget the only fucking canvas guest we had where he fucking did lines before the show started.
Well,
never forget.
We're gonna have Halo Acid on soon, so maybe he'll do it. I mean, he's
maybe make it too.
He's like, you know, he's not shy about that. He's been posting that on his Twitter, so you know.
Yeah, we'll make it 2. Why not? Halo. Before you get on the horn of us, pal, do a line.
We're definitely gonna have Halo on soon. So yeah, look out for that. Speaking of, he's gonna be dropping an album on Dream Catalogue soon too. So look out for that.
We got a lot of fucking artists coming, guys. We are so ready for the future.
Yeah.
We've got the 10-year anniversary of Dream Catalogue right around the corner. And we are going to build so much steam before we get there. You hold on. You buckle your seatbelts, because the hype train is about to leave the station.
Yeah, so until next time, peace.
See ya.
Fuck the Schwab bullshit. Fuck the Black Rock shit. Fuck the Schwab bullshit. Fuck the Black Rock shit. Fuck the Schwab bullshit.